Come to the first question. Which of the following is correct regarding the drain of Indian wealth? So what is the drain of Indian wealth? It is a theory which is propounded by whom? Dadabhai Naoroji. This theory says that the flow of wealth from India to England, the flow of wealth, this wealth is generated by the British in India. Okay, the British generated this wealth in numerous ways, through territorial expansion, through promotion of exports, through wars, etc. Whatever the wealth generated has been transferred to England for paying of debts, paying of insurance claims, paying of pensions, salaries, etc. So here the wealth generated in India has been used in England, but not for the development of India. So now come to the options. Option A says that India's foreign trade during colonial period focus on export surplus generation. This is true because British want to generate wealth. How they are generating? They are generating through promotion of exports. The export surplus was used for the welfare of Indian economy. This is false. They have used these wealth generated for these purposes. So this is wrong. So answer is A only. Come to the second question now. Elements. Here, if you want to answer this question, you should definitely know what are the elements of budget. There are 5 elements of budget. What are they 5? 1. Estimates of revenue and capital receipts. 2. Estimates of expenditure. 3. Ways and means. 4. Economic and financial policy. 5. Actual receipts of the closing year, financial year. If you know these 5 elements, then this is very easy. Option 1, estimates of revenue and capital receipt is there. Ways and means to raise revenue, correct. Estimates of expenditure, correct. And details of actual receipts and expenditure of financial closing financial, it is correct. So answer is D. Come to the third question now. Which of the following statements is or correct regarding the challenges faced by India in the power sector? What are the challenges? Means what? What are the problems in the power sectors that India is facing? See the option. A. India's installed capacity to generate electricity is not enough to meet its annual economic growth of 7 to 8%. Here, by seeing this fact, you should not think that I don't know this fact, so I can't solve this question. It is very easy. It's saying that installed capacity of to generate electricity is not enough. Whatever the electricity capacity is installed in India is not enough. They are saying it is true, right? Because it is not enough, Pradhan Mantri has launched Saubhagya scheme, electricity to all. Because it is not enough to increase the installed capacity, Pradhan Mantri has launched even Deen Dayal Gramin Jyoti Yojana, all these schemes. If India has surplus electricity, why India will launch these schemes? They will not launch, right? So this should be correct. There is a little inclusion of private sector in this area. Means little inclusion, you can say that if you know little bit of current affairs, if you keep reading some magazine, some institute magazine, definitely in one month you will definitely read in some 1 month. NTPC, NTPC and coal, these current affairs definitely you would have read. What it says, NTPC actually generates 60 to 70% of electricity in India. This NTPC is what? Public sector company, means government's company. It shows that definitely there is little involvement of private sector in this area. If you want, this is just, if you don't know the fact, if you know the fact, then you can directly tick it is correct. What is the fact? The amount of electricity generated by private players is 21%. So there is a shortage of raw material in the thermal power plants. It is right or wrong? In current affairs, there is one news: coal commercial bill. Government has recently passed this bill. Why they have passed this bill? To increase coal production. Why they have to increase the coal production? Because we are importing coal, a lot of coal for the electricity generation. Okay. So what does it mean? There is a shortage. So there is a shortage. C is also right. So answer is all the above. So answer is all the above. So now come to the fourth question. What is devaluation? Devaluation is what? Government wantonly will decrease currency value. What is revaluation? Government wantonly will increase foreign currency exchange value. What is depreciation? It is a decrease in foreign exchange currency value which is determined by the market. What is appreciation? Appreciation is increase in currency value with respect to the market, because market will determine it. Okay, the value of the currency. So whether you know these or not doesn't matter, because you know these four things, right? So automatically the fifth one you will come to know. If you see like that, devaluation means what? Decrease in currency value by the government. Where it is? It is 3. So 3 is answer. So if you see 3, 4, 2, 4. So here only 3 is there. So answer is A. Blindly you can take A. No need to check other options also. Now come to the fifth question. Fifth question says, consider the following statement regarding public health. What is public health? Simple. During this COVID-19 pandemic, definitely we should know what is public health. Public health is nothing but safeguarding citizens' health. How government will safeguard citizens' health? By providing health services, by constructing or by facilitating infrastructure, that can be beds, hospitals, laboratories, equipments, anything. By constructing or by establishing hospitals even in village areas or rural areas. Okay, this is known as public health. So what is the first option? Accessibility and the presence of health infrastructure ensures healthy human resource for a country, correct? Citizens health, for sake of citizens only, right? All these things government is doing. So option A is correct. Primary health center and community health centers and other sub centers have been established by the government to ensure better public health. So what here I have said, right? Establishment of hospitals in rural areas. What is the rural area hospital? This is primary health centers and community health centers and other sub centers. So this is also correct. So answer is C. Now come to the sixth question. National income in an open economy can be formulated as. Here you should know that this question is all national income, right? What is the methods of finding national income? One is product method, another is income method, another one is consumption method or expenditure method. Okay, these formulas whatever they have given, it belongs to the consumption method. What consumption method says? Consumption of citizens plus consumption of government plus expenditure of investors. Okay, so place is there. Where is this? And net foreign sources. What is this foreign sources? Exports, and net means export minus import. So what is the answer here? Consumption place, investment place, and expenditure place, total exports minus total imports. This should be the answer A. This is just mathematical formula. It is there directly in book. You can, if you have read this, you will remember, otherwise you will forget. But there is nothing to forget, it is very easy. If you don't know the formula also, it's very simple common sense. If you use it, you can easily solve. Why? Because what is national income? For entire country, the revenue generated in the country, it is a national income, right? So how the revenue is generated? Consumption should be there. When you go and buy something, then you are paying money. So you are paying money to some shopkeeper, you are paying taxes. So consumption will be there. Investment, someone comes and invests in the market. So there is also money generation is there, wealth generation. Government expenditure is there. Government also invests or government also spends. Okay, and total exports and total imports. So how much money we are getting from the foreign trade. This is if you combine all these things, then the whatever the country earns, that is known as national income. So answer is A. The question number 7. What is question number 7 says? It is golden revolution. First you should know there are many revolutions in agriculture. Okay, you should know all the revolutions in agriculture. What are there? Green, evergreen revolution, protein revolution, yellow revolution, black revolution, blue revolution, brown revolution, golden fiber revolution, golden revolution, grey revolution. Like that many revolutions are there. Okay, what is this golden revolution means? It deals with the horticulture. So if it deals with the horticulture, so you can directly see where is horticulture is here. So answer is D. That's it. You should know all these revolutions. You can easily get it on internet. So the next question is, consider the following statements. Okay, which of the above statements is or correct, they're asking. So what is the first option? The decline of indigenous handicraft industries during British rule created massive unemployment. It's correct, right? Because in British came into India when after Mughals. British came. During Mughals, what is the sector which was providing highest employment? That is handicraft, artisan. Any artisan sector was providing highest employment. When British came, the value for this work was gone. So automatically unemployment will increase. because there is no alternative. So option 1 is correct. The massive unemployment due to decline of indigenous handicraft industries led to the massive decline in demand in consumer market. This is wrong, because there is a massive increase in demand in the consumer market. See, there is a demand in the market. Okay, there is a demand in the market. What happened? British suddenly made indigenous handicrafts as useless. How they made? They started importing cheaper products to India from England. When these products cost you 1 rupee, when these products cost you 5 rupees, which one you will buy? Automatically you will buy 1 rupee. So the demand for the consumer products of England has increased, but this has reduced. Okay, so this one and this one is correct. And British government followed the policy of free trade in India. This is also correct, because the British government has followed in India free trade. You can export and import freely without any duties, but these can be exported. Export means what you can export? Only raw materials. If you want to export Indian artisan products, then on that huge export duties were applied by the British, imposed by the British. So this is a government, British government followed policy of free trade in India. This is also correct. So answer is D. Now we'll come to this question later. We'll take this 10th question. Which of the following are the possible consequences of revenue deficit? What is revenue deficit? You should know. Revenue deficit is revenue receipts minus revenue expenditure. Okay. Example, if you are getting revenue receipts 10 rupees, but you are spending 20 rupees, so minus 10. This is known as deficit. Expenditure is more than the income, so this is known as revenue deficit. Now you say, what will be the consequences? This saving by the government. Obviously government is not able to save money, not saving any money, just spending. So the deficit will occur. Means what? Revenue expenditure will increase, right? Not say, if you save, this will increase. If you don't save, this will increase. So automatically revenue deficit will increase. Government borrows to finance investment. See, wherever investment comes, it doesn't fall in revenue, it falls under capital. Whenever you invest in capital, if you imagine you invested 100 rupees, it doesn't mean that tomorrow you will get returns from it, but after 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, you may, these 100 rupees may multiply to 1000 rupees. That's why when you invest in capital sector, it is not termed as waste of money. So this is wrong. It leads to the lower growth and adverse welfare implication. Nothing like that. Revenue expenditure is done by every country, because you have to uphold welfare sector in every country. Okay, welfare is very important for the people. Okay, but if you are spending more on welfare sector, then there will be the problem. Otherwise there is no problem. So this is also wrong. The higher revenue deficit creates a higher repayment burden. Obviously this is correct, because we borrow money, right? See, when you are getting only 10 rupees, but you are spending 20 rupees, from where another 10 rupees is coming from? It's coming because you are borrowing. If you keep on increasing your borrowings, definitely you have to pay interest rate, and later on you have to pay principal, so it will increase the burden on the government. So answer is 1 and 4. 1 and 4 B. This is completely facts based question. If you know about this guy, you will know, because it is about the scientist. So he studied in ISI Kolkata, started Journal of Sankhya. If you know who started the Journal of Sankhya, and automatically answer is PC Mahalanobis. Okay, so this is direct question. There is nothing to discuss. Coming to the Green Revolution. You should know what is Green Revolution. Green Revolution happened in 1960s. Okay, the objective is to make India self-sufficient in food grains. Okay, this is the main objective. So India has introduced Green Revolution. What are the components of Green Revolution? Means you can say that HYB seeds, high yield HYV seeds, high yielding variety seeds. Okay, and you can say irrigation facilities. Okay, and pesticides and land reforms and capital and low labor cost, all these things are components of Green Revolution. Now we'll see this question. What it says: use of high yielding variety seeds, correct. Increase, yes, correct. And use of biofertilizers. See, use of biofertilizers is a concept nowadays. At the time we are using chemical fertilizers, so you can eliminate 3. When you eliminate 3, what is the answer? D. No need to see other expansion of land holding, that is land reforms, I already said. So promotion of organic farming. Promotion of organic farming is a topic now, because the Green Revolution has ruined the agriculture land. So we are thinking to revive that land. For reviving that land, the one of the option is organic farming and use of biofertilizers. So answer is D. Nowadays the government is following privatization rule. Okay, what is this privatization? Privatization is nothing but selling of, if government has one company, in that government has some shareholding percentage like 60% or 70%. Okay, government thinks that okay, I will sell off some percentage of shares to the private players. So when government want to sell these shares, then it is known as privatization of public sector. So answer option 1 is correct, because what it says, the privatization of public sector enterprises by selling off part of the equity of them is called a disinvestment. It's correct, disinvestment is the same thing. In disinvestment, actually there are 2 types: strategic disinvestment and non-strategic disinvestment. The strategic disinvestment means they will the government will hand over even the management. Means what? Management of the company means it is selling 50% or more than 50% of shares of a company. So the entire company will be controlled by the private players. Here non-strategic disinvestment means it will just sell off 8% or 9% just to get revenues. That's it. So what is the second option? The purpose of privatization is mainly to improve. It is also correct. Mainly to improve the financial discipline and facilitate the modernization. So answer is C. The Financial Responsibility and Budget Management Act. Now we are dealing with the 14th question. E is concerned with which of the following? See here, you no need to know about the act, what is the act and all. Moreover, this question has been asked in 2020 prelims, so definitely they will not ask again this question in 2021. However, we have to deal, because they have asked in this test, we have to deal with this. How you have to deal? Fiscal responsibility and budget management. What is fiscal responsibility? Definitely, whether you know this concept or nothing, here option itself talks about fiscal deficit. Okay, something they are talking about fiscal deficit. Okay, fiscal responsibility, fiscal deficit. Okay, chalo, this is correct. Budget management is there. What is in budget? What will come? Revenue will be there and capital will be there. So fiscal deficit here and revenue deficit here. So answer is C. That's it. Answer is C. Here you see, come to the 15th question. There are many ways of measuring poverty. One way is to determine it by the monetary value of minimum calorie intake. See, there are many ways they are saying, but one way is to determine is monetary value of minimum calories intake. How much monetary value? Okay, to take 2000 calories per day, how much it cost? Maybe 30 rupees or 40 rupees or 50 rupees, you can say. Okay, consider the following statement regarding the problems in identifying this. What is the problem in this method? Okay, they are asking, it does not differentiate between the very poor and other poor. It is correct, because a very poor person is whom the person who is earning 10 rupees. It does not differentiate between the person who is 10 rupees earning 10 rupees per day and person who is earning 50 rupees per day. Both are poor. Among this, who is very poor? This is 10. This guy is, A guy is very poor, so it will not differentiate, right? It will club both are poor, but this guy is more poorer than this guy, and it does not take into consideration the social factors that trigger the poverty, such as education, health. Yes, it does not take, it is just taking the value of monetary value of calories. It does not take into the consideration of education. Why we should take education? Because when you know, only by education you will come to know, right? If you eat chicken, okay, I'll get this much calories. If you eat soya bean, I'll get this much calories. Eating this thing is very important, and being hygienic is very important. Maintaining sanitation is very important. These things will come from the education and by the health. So this is very important, but it doesn't take into consideration. It will take only the monetary value, because the question itself says the monetary value of minimum calorie intake. So it is also correct. In this mechanism, it is very difficult to identify who among the poor need help the most. It is very difficult, right? Because you clubbed everybody as poor, but among poor also there is poorer and the poorest, poor and poorest. So you when you don't differentiate between these two, how come you can identify? You cannot identify. So this is also correct. So answer is D. Now come to the inventory. What is inventory? Inventory is what? Is a place where you keep all your goods. Goods can be finished goods or raw materials. Is known as inventory. Okay, from there you will sell also. Okay, this inventory will help you to sell off your goods. Okay, now we will see the options. It is a stock of unsold finished goods, correct? It is a stock of unsold because you didn't sell yet. It is in the stock with you. It is in your godowns. Okay, so it is a stock of unsold raw markets, correct? Because goods is what? Finished products and raw markets, and it is treated as capital. Yes, definitely, when you have goods and raw materials in your godown, if not today, tomorrow will sell. If not tomorrow, day after tomorrow also will sell. You will sell. So it is treated as capital. How much value these finished products and raw materials? There is a value for them, right? You are not throwing off them. you will sell them, so it is known as capital. So answer is D. So outsourcing, okay, in 1990s or in early 2000s, right, there is a differentiation between core activities of a manufacturing community and non-core activities of a manufacturing communities. Nowadays there is no such differentiation, everything is clubbed because everything became very important for a manufacturing industries or some companies, software companies, anything. So now it comes to the outsourcing. What is outsourcing? Outsourcing is you are giving your part of work in your company. You have to do so many works every day, but you cannot do so many works, right? So what you do, these many things I will give contract to someone, so that guy will finish your work and he will give you back this work. So this can be long term. Okay, for short term also will be there and long term, but mostly it will be long term. Now it refers to the long term contracting out some of the core activities to the third parties. It is correct because you are giving to someone else. And the core activities, I told you nowadays there is no differentiation between core and non-core, everything is important. So some companies will give core activities, some companies will give non-core activities. So it is correct. It is with a view to benefiting from third party specialist experience, expert, and even investment. It is correct because this work which the manufacturing company is not able to do will give to the third party. Why they are giving? Because these guys are expert, and it will reduce the burden on this manufacturing unit to invest more on this. So these guys will invest and they will finish the work. So second one is also correct. So answer is C. What is public goods? 18th one, come to 18th one. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the public goods? What is public good? You say public good is nothing but defense. First you have to understand that the definition. Public goods is one is it is available to the everybody, every inclusion. Okay, it is inclusionary and non rivalrous. It is non-rivalrous and inclusionary. These are public goods. Anybody can have access to the public goods. Which all will come under the public goods means roads will come, public transportation, defense, everything will come. So now come to the questions. Come to the question. The national defense, road, public administration are referred to the public good, correct? The goods are excludable, and see, excludable, it's not excludable, right? It is inclusionary because everybody have access to the goods. So this is wrong. These goods are restricted to one particular consumer. This is wrong. It is accessible by everybody, every community. These goods are produced only by the government. No, wrong. This can be produced by the private people also. Because railways, now railways is privatized. Now take that Tejas train. Tejas train owner will not say that this is only for VIPs. No, anybody can book the ticket and do journey in it. So it can be produced by the private players also. So answer is A. Now come to the GDP. What is GDP? All final value of goods and services. It is GDP. Okay, what is quota? Quota is what the government will impose restrictions. It will say only 500 products you can import from the China, not more than 500. That quota will be fixed. So fixing the number of items you can import from a country is known as quota. Land reforms. Land reforms means what? Changing the tenancy laws, land holding laws. These are land reforms. HYV seats. green revolution, subsidies, the government paying for the manufacturing or a production activities, giving assistance to the manufacturers. So what is the answer now? For A, answer is C. For B, answer is 2. So answer is 3 2. Only 3 2 is here. So answer is C. No need to check other options also. Now, what is balance of payment? You should know. What is balance of payment? Balance of payment is current account balance plus capital account balance. Okay, you should know what will come under current account balance and capital account balance. Now come to the question. Foreign loans and FDI are components of capital account, correct? What are the components of capital account? External assistance, commercial borrowing, non-NRIs deposits, foreign investment and other flows. All these things will come under capital account balance. So, and private remittance is component of current account. This is also correct. What will come under current account balance? Trade balance will come. Invisibles. What are invisibles? Invisibles are non-factor services, income. In income, remittance will come. Okay, so answer is very easy question. Answer is C. 21st question is fact based question. If you know about the who actually drawn this concept poverty line in India, you will understand, but blindly also can tick it is Dadabhai Naoroji. And green revolution, already I explained about the green revolution. Now we will see the options. The first phase of this green revolution benefited the wheat and rice growing regions only. Actually no, it has encouraged the wheat and rice growing, but regions means what? See, what are the major regions now of rice growing? Odisha, Assam, okay, etc. These regions, right? Still green revolution has not spread into this region, so you cannot say that all regions has benefited. Okay, so because they are used only, so it is wrong. Okay, actually in the first phase of revolution only wheat and rice crops are benefited, but regions you cannot say, because Odisha and Assam is also major region, and the green revolution has not penetrated for even today. Okay, the green revolution implemented to make India self-sufficient. Yes, it is correct. Already I explained. It adopted modern methods and technology is also correct. I told irrigation, fertilizers, HYV seeds. All these things are modern technology and methods. So answer is this is wrong. Answer is B. Come to the question number 25. Which of the following is or incorrect regarding term health? Okay, what is health? Health has two types. One is physical health, one is mental health. Physical health deals with the diseases. Mental health deals with the psychology and your stress factors and many other things. Okay, so which is incorrect they are asking? It is not only an absence of health but also ability to realize one potential. It is correct, because when your mental health is strong, it increases your ability to realize your potential, your ability, the way you study, okay, what you can achieve, everything depends upon your mental health. So one is correct. So it is assessed by using life expectancy indicators only. A life expectancy means how many years you will live. Okay, you will live. So how come by just saying that one person has lived for 100 years, his health is good? You cannot say it, because maybe his physical health will be good, may not be his mental health, because mental health is depends upon the education, his standard of living, his income, government support, everything. So you cannot say by using just life expectancy indicators. So answer is, it is asking about incorrect, right? Answer is B. This is wrong.